Okay, so I'm going to start by, so I'll just close everything first. I'm going to create a new Spring Starter project, right? You can see there, right? Whatever I'm doing here. Let's call this test one, com.nqs not main. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. JDBC, Postgres, Spring JP is needed, web is needed. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's enough because after that we'll have to. So I'm looking for that Lombok. Oh yeah, it's on the. It's in. It'll be here. Lombok. The dependency. Lombok dependencies here. Okay. Test one. I'm just going to create. Just going to add that dependency here. Fine. The Lombok dependency. See, it's downloading, building, done. So now, just like last time, same shit. New package. com.ntwist.main start with, what is it? Model, right? Models. I'm going to start with models here. I'll create all of them now itself. com.ntwist.models. What is the second one?
Repository.
Yeah, after the repository. Right. Repository. What is the third one?
Service.
Service. Right. Services. Yeah, it has to be plurals, right? So repositories and services, right? What is the final one? Controllers, right? Okay. We start with models, right? Class. Yeah, I'll start with. Let's do teacher. Teacher. Okay. Okay. This is an entity. Javax persistence. Okay, so private long teacher underscore ID. Private. Private. Let's call this int, maybe int age. Okay. Private string name. Let's make the wrapper class. I don't want to make any mistakes. Just to be sure. So entity, what is the first thing we do in entity? We have to make it all the Lombok stuff, right? So data Lombok. So now you have on the right side, you get everything. The next thing we're going to need is all args constructor. No args constructor. See, because sometimes, right, in some cases, you have to delete all args constructor because you don't want that comes later on. You'll have issues later on, so you'll have to delete that and create your own your own constructor. So anyway, so this is done, and then we also, is there anything else we're supposed to do here? Can you just open up? I am actually.
Go to the model.
model. Entity data. All right. So then after the usual stuff, right? Then we start with ID, right? Say that this is an ID. The next thing we say that it has to generate automatically, right? So generated value, correct. And then we say strategy would be auto, correct?
Yeah.
After that, what anything else? We'll just say for fun. We can actually column. We just say that the name is ID. Just like. So that part is done. Okay. All our constructor. It's all done. All done. All done. Okay. Next, repository. What is it? Interface, right? So we call this teacher repository. Let's call this a teacher repository. And extends JPA repository. So it takes in the teacher object.
Yeah.
And the ID type is long, right?
Yes.
Done. So next is services. Okay, so in services, what is it? Teacher service. Okay, teacher DAO, right?
Yeah.
Data access object, right? Data access object. Oh, wait, I forgot one thing. Here you have to say that this is a repository. Let me see, my Postgres is online. Okay. What is my password? I guess password. Yeah, this is my N2S. My N2S is here. Good. So I've says, okay, now data access object here. We have to auto-wire it, right? We have to auto-wire the what is the other one? What the previous one we made?
Repository.
Repository. That's the one. Yes. Teacher repository, right? Teacher repository trep. Just call it trep. Okay. I think that's all. Because the rest comes later. We're just setting up the entire thing. Huh?
Private?
Oh, right. Forgot about that. It has to be private because encapsulation, abstract encapsulation. And what is it? Yeah, encapsulation. Exactly. So that is done. Now, finally, we go to the controller, which is where all the. Oh, wait. Forgot again. Forgot this. Service. Oh, sorry. Okay, so this would be the teacher controller. Okay, so this is going to be a controller, right? The second thing is we have to request the mapping that all controller the request mapping. We'll just give this a slash. Let's see what happens. Instead, okay, we'll start with teacher. We'll make changes later on. Okay. So here we have to do the same thing. What is that? Auto-wire something, right? What do we have to auto-wire? Right. So it's here is teacher, right? So it's teacher DAO, right?
Yes.
Teacher DAO, data access object.
Oh,
Sorry. PDAO, teacher DAO. Okay. So now we start with now everything is set up, right? We'll start with the methods. Okay. So Postman is set up. Well, we have to do the forgot about this application properties. not department microservice. Common. Application 9001. Yeah. So server port is 9001 only. So let's keep it at that. Okay, so we start with mm, first. Let's see if this endpoint works. Teacher endpoint works. So let's just say request mapping. Mm, and now let's see. Let's see what happens. Request mapping here. Public string. Oh, but yeah, we'll do that later. Public string home page. Right. We'll call this home page. Home page. So you basically just return home page. Let's just do that. Mm, wait, but if you want, if this has to be seen on the client side, what do you do?
Request field.
No, response.
Response.
Response. Request is input from the client, right? Response body. Let's try this out, okay? See what happens. Up. Application failed. Where the hell did it fail? Nested exception.
Oh, in the DM you have to mention it.
Did I forget something?
DAO, yeah.
Oh, I notify the DO. I notified the DO. Data access object, but teacher repository is also done. Repository extends JPA repository. Controller service.
Create some more methods.
What?
Create some more methods.
No. If this doesn't work, then how will it? So let's assume that let's just do a get mapping. Mm, get all. Okay. Public list.
Actually, you missed this one. What is? Have to pass it, right?
No, see, I've not done anything.
Okay.
I've not started anything at all. I've not. Okay, get all. So here we say date teacher data access object dot get all. List student. Oh, did I make some mistake? Student teacher. I think I must have done something like something. Teacher repository. Teacher data access object. Yeah, it's teacher actually. Mm. In yours, it came easily, right? It just imported it directly. It did not
Yeah.
even, for my case, oh, here it is, import teacher from models. Okay. Get all, create method, get all. I'm coming here. I'm going to give the same thing. List of teachers. List of teachers. So we have the teacher repository dot get by ID. Find all. Okay. Find all list of teachers. Return. Get mapping. Just show me the controller that I've shown you. Oh, it has to be a response body. Okay. We'll still get the same error because something somewhere has gone wrong. Postgres SQL.
Student rep. Why does student rep? I think you messed up with some student.
Oh, student controller. Somewhere in the name, somewhere. Yeah, where is that student thing coming from?
Hey, I know. Like, go to that application properties.
Application. Oh, right, right. Nothing here about student. This shouldn't make any difference. So where on earth is this student rep coming?
No, are you which program are you running?
Oh my god. No wonder. It was running something else.
That's correct.
It's running something else entirely. Okay. Let's see what happens here. Oh, it's done. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I'll just do this, right? So just a home page. Okay. Let's just see what happens. I'll just restart the server now. Okay, it's ready. So I'll just go to Postman. 9001, right? And the teacher slash teacher slash nothing. Let's see. I'm going to get something. Let's see what happens with the get here. Mm, There should be an error or something. Oh, home page. Excellent. So it works. So just slash teacher, I'm going straight to the home page. What if I just remove the entire thing? Let's see what happens, right? So that then there's no mapping directly when I go to that localhost port.
You don't have to do any slash.
Yeah, I don't have to give any slash. So let's see if that works. Right?
Yeah.
Create table teacher. Okay, so this is that teacher one only, right? This is not that. Yeah, yes. So okay, let's check this out. I'm gonna get homepage. Excellent. So you're not doing slash.
Yes.
See if I have to give this. Oh, nothing. So directly you can go there.
Good.
So you can see, right, the kind of flexibility you have,
Correct.
right?
Mm.
So I'll just leave. I might be working on something else also. So I'll just have make it a teacher endpoint, right? So teacher endpoint will just give you homepage
Correct.
directly to homepage. So, but what about get all? Let's see, get all, get slash get all, because this is still running that old server, right?
You have to do.
I've not restarted it. I've saved it, but I've not restarted the server.
No. You have to do teacher and then
Yeah, I don't have to do it because I just changed it now, right?
oh,
So, and I've not restarted the server.
got it.
So maybe the server is still running on that old code. So let's see what happens. No, nothing. See. So server is still running on that old code. So I'll just stop this. Okay. So now I'm going to start by putting stuff inside. Okay. So, what is the first thing we have to do? We have to start saving, right?
Right.
Okay. So public. We won't. Yeah, we will see what we can do after it saves. The response body string. Yeah. Or maybe right now we'll just focus on saving something. Okay. So I'll just say public void. So we have to save. So to do that, we'll just say save object, save teacher, right? Save teacher method. This is called a save teacher method. Okay. And here the user, the client has to give the input, right? So it is
Right. Yeah,
request, I think.
request.
No, yes, response body and
body.
request body, right? So request body, since you have to request from the client, right?
Right.
So the teacher object the client has to provide, right?
Mm.
Teacher T, correct?
Mm.
And your job is to save that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So save with the DAO, right? Data access object dot. We'll just copy paste this. Save teacher and T, the teacher. Save. Oh wait, but this method is not there. So you create that method in the layer below that.
Yeah.
The service layer. Service layer. So here it says that you have the teacher T and you want to save the teacher. So what do? You take the repository, right? Teacher repository, and I think you have the option to save. Save the teacher T. Right, done.
Okay.
And you don't have to return anything because it's void.
Correct.
Okay. Now the thing is the client has to know that it's been saved, right?
Mm.
So because otherwise he'll just get an error.
Correct.
I mean, database updated, but it's error. So we'll just say return a string that says that T has been saved. T plus has saved. Okay. Oh, okay. Now it's giving an error. Why?
Bracket.
What?
You have to change this.
Changes to?
Written type. String.
What?
String.
Yes, correct. But something else you're missing. Because this has to reach the client side. So
Say, response.
right, exactly. Response body. Right. So T the T object has been saved. Okay. So let's just try this out. This application properties is under create. Okay. Let's just run it. Test one application. Okay. Okay, so now it's teacher because we have changed the endpoint, right? Teacher slash get all. Let's get get method. Nothing. There's nothing inside.
Okay.
So I think we start by saving, right?
Yeah.
So we have the save method. Oh no, we have not. I forgot. We have to restart again because we have to say post mapping because we are posting something. Post mapping here we have to say that this comes under the endpoint of save. Correct?
Yeah.
So now I start this. Okay, so now I start this. It's done. Now I'll just say get all method not allowed. Oh wait, sorry. Let's just do it with method. You know what says method not allowed? What does this mean? What is the meaning of this? Huh? Yeah, what it means is for this endpoint, you're not allowed to forget. What you're allowed is post. Got it? Now for now, if I do post in teacher.save, let's see what happens, right? Oh, check it out. See, teacher ID 1, age null, name 2 has been saved. So age I've not given, so it assumes it to be null. Okay. Now if I have to have that age, right? Let's see if there are things you can do. I'll show you. Models, you go to age, right? And you can say something like required, I think. Required. I think this should work. Marks a method as required. Oh, this method, huh? Ah, I'm not sure how we can do that in Lombok. Because, see, that Lombok has its own methods and also. Yeah, but see, if you want, you can create your own getter setter. So under there, you can say required. Got it? Okay. Now what I'll do is so teacher saved, right? Now I'll just but you want they want age also. So what do you want? I can say age is 65. Okay. Name. I'll give this as name 3. There we go. See, the user gets a response. String has been given, right? A response body string. Got it? User is given the response. And then, okay, so now if I say I want get all, right? So what do? I change it to get because it's a get method. Get all. There you go. We have all the stuff here. Okay. Right. Now let's try some other methods. Okay. Okay. Save get all. What else? Okay. So now we want get one object, get one user. Okay. Let's try that. So now we'll do that mapping part later. We'll just start with public. It's going to be a response body, right? Because user has to see it. Client has to see this. So response body. Then you say
Response.
the response has to be a teacher object because now we want. Oh, sorry. Response body. Now we want the client to see one teacher object. Okay. Because we want so one teacher object. So we'll just call this get one. Get one. Okay. No, wait, sorry, let's call this get by ID. Got it? Because we want to do this, right? Get by ID. Got it? So we give the teacher ID and we have to get the ID. And based on the ID, we have to get the teacher object on the client side. Now here you have to type something else, right? So in this case, we have to do a get mapping. Okay, get mapping. Here you have to say that slash get. Let's call this dot I. Okay, get. Actually, they start with ID. Get slash ID. Then what here we say parameter. Generic parameter is parameter. Request param. I think this is the one. Request param. I think it's request param. I'll just have to check here. How did this work? These are the controller, right? So, there it is. Path variable. It's a path variable, not request param. It's path variable because whatever ID the endpoint, you have to take the endpoint ID and you have to do that, right? So path variable type is long because the ID of the feature is long type. Long, let's call this ID. Okay. So response body teacher. So this method has to take the ID from the endpoint. Okay. and it has to look at the table and it has to find the teacher object for that ID and return that to the client. Okay. So here I'm going to say get by ID. mm, Response body teacher get by ID. Okay, so we just that we'll do the same thing. T data teacher data access object, right? Dot copy paste this method, right? And it has to go by the ID. Okay, but that method is not there in there, so you have to create that method. Okay, so now what should happen is get by ID. Uh, okay, so it has to return a teacher object. Okay, so now we have the teacher repository here. Right? We have this teacher repository that says, I think it is find by ID. This is the one, find by ID. Or there could be another one also. Find, maybe it's in get. I don't remember. Get by ID. Ah, here it is. Get by ID. But last time I tried get by ID, there was some issue. A reference to the entity with the given identifier. This should work. I don't know why it didn't work. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, we tried to return that. Oh, return this also. Right. Okay, so basically what is happening is when a user gives an endpoint with get and slash ID, this method will actually look at, so the endpoint comes to this function. Okay. Then they will look at the path variable ID. Okay. Right. Just be clear that's exactly what happens. ID, yes, that's exactly what happens. So it will look at the path variable ID and it will go to data access and say get this by ID. So then it goes to this here. It calls a repository and it says get by ID this. Okay. You do this several times, you'll get the hang of it. Okay, so now let's see what happens. Because I tried the last time it didn't work, so I had to do find by ID, which is something else. Anyway, let's see what happens. Oh, wait, application properties. You know what? We already did. I don't want to delete that values again, so I'll just select update. Okay. I don't want it to delete all the existing ones. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's ready. Okay, good to go. Okay. So first we'll start with get all. See if they're still there. Oh, they're all still there. See, good. So now what is that one? Get a single one, right? Yeah. So let's see what happens when we do a get a single one. Should give an error, I think. Oh, see, yeah, see, internal server error. So this is the same issue I had last time. I don't know why this thing doesn't work. No serializer found. Yes, this is the weird thing. I don't know why this happens. Being serializer. Anyway, so I'll just stop this. And instead of, so get by ID goes here, goes to the teacher DAO. So instead of get, repository, we look for the other method. I think it is find by ID, which gives an optional teacher method. And you just say get, it will give you the teacher object. This will actually do it. So just do it this way. Now, yeah, now I'll just restart this again. I've restarted again. Now, let's see, get one. There we go. See, okay. I've got it. Now get two. There we go. I got the second object. What will happen if I get three? Nothing. Internal server error. And there's no third one. Okay. So now what we do is get by ID. Okay. Yeah, so I want to try out something else, right? What if we just say get dash ID? This should also work, right?
You're just changing that in the
Yeah, from slash, I'm just saying you to that.
it
So
doesn't
get,
matter.
I'll just say get dot because this is better than slash. Later on, if you want slash and all that, I'll just restart the server now. You know this, right? This here's the restart server. Okay, it's there, ready. Okay, so I'm going to get the second one here.
Oh, it's dot.
Oh, sorry, I forgot about that dot. Okay, there it is. So it works. So you can see, right, how easily you can customize
Yeah.
whatever you want. So easy. Now, next thing is so you want to delete a teacher, okay?
How can I?
By ID. Yeah, how else can you do that? You
Yeah.
can't just delete everything. You can delete by name and all, but that is you have to use SQL queries for that.
Got it.
That we'll do later, right? So we'll do a get mapping also here, right? Get mapping. Yeah, let's call this delete. Let's call this delete dot. Okay, ID. Okay.
Okay.
Then I'm going to say public.
Put a slash.
Huh?
Slash.
Oh, right. Forgot about slash. Then I'm going to say public. So I'm not going to return anything for now. I'll just leave it as it is. And I'll say public void delete by ID. Delete by ID. Okay. And the same thing basically. We'll take care of void later because user also has to be shown that this thing is gone, right?
Yes.
So we'll do that. So I'm going to return the data access object dot. I'll just copy paste this method.
Give decaps.
What?
You must give decap.
D right. Keep forgetting this.
Yeah.
So annoying. Okay. Okay. So now that's done. Now they're saying that this method is not there. So create this method. Okay. So delete by ID. Now what we do is you go to that teacher repository and look for the delete option. Is there a delete option? There it is. See.
Okay.
Delete entity. So we say delete by ID. Wait. Delete by ID has just a second. Just a second. We have to. I think I may have. Let me go back and see. Delete by ID. ID. Forgot about this. It has to find the ID.
Yes.
So now you just do that. Okay, there it is. So you not return anything. Anyway, let's worry about that later. For right now, let's just say teacher repository. You delete ID. Right, that works.
Delete by.
Oh, right. It has to be delete by ID, right? Because input here is teacher entity. Where the ID is what long, right?
Yeah.
Long. It is a unique identifier, right? Primary key.
Yes.
There it is.
Yes.
Delete by ID. Okay, now this could be void only, right? Why do we have to return anything? Okay, so it says teacher data access object. Okay, now that is done. Okay, we don't have to return anything because it's void, right? Okay, now, but the user has to know that it's gone, right?
Correct.
So what we'll do is we'll just show him all the available stuff,
Hmm.
right? So we'll just say return teacher data access object dot get all. It shows and he will return the entire list.
Correct.
Right. So now the return type has to change from void to list of teachers. Correct. So far so good. Okay, now I have to restart the entire thing again. Okay.
What is it?
Now let's just see get all. Alright. All. Okay, we have two of them. Okay. So I'm going to delete one of them, right? Delete the first one.
Mm.
Okay. Not found. Let's see. Okay. Let's see what's exactly happening. So
I
now
think
we want to know what's happening. So what I'll do is I'll just put in a logger SL4J. Okay. And I'll say delete by ID log dot info logger info. So we starting delete. I'll just say I'm starting delete log dot info. Say delete is done. Delete is done. And just to make sure that this gets my attention, I'll just add this just to see that I can see it on the console. Okay, let's just run this again. I'm not sure if delete is done. Delete is done, right? Because
no, I have doubt in
one second. Let me just finish this. I just want to see if I can. If this, I want to make sure. Let me see why this is not working. Get all. No, it was removed. So that was removed. Okay. Let's
but
just
it's
make
not
this
returning
sorted.
correct one.
Hmm. You know what? Let's just save one more. Okay, I'm going to save this post. Save has been saved. Okay, just get all. Get all. Okay, so teacher ID 3 instead of 1, it starts with, it keeps incrementing. It doesn't go back to 1.
Oh,
See
okay.
that? After
Correct.
1 is now
Unique,
gone.
unique.
After 1 is deleted, 1 is gone.
Yes.
Nobody's using it again. You have to make changes later on, but that is for later.
Mm.
So the method we are trying to do is delete, right? So del.id. Did I do that? I did del.id, right? Del.1. That is exactly what I did.
But it will return.
Oh, right. Oh, right. Deleting is done.
But it will
Return.
return as
Oh.
alpha. I think it's.
So why did it
I have
return?
go to the see delete by why will you
A void. Yeah, because it's not returning anything, right? After it deletes, nothing is returned. What? So over here
no
is,
you're returning that value, right?
yeah, but that is happening. See, that is, look at this layer. You remember the layers I
Yeah.
showed you? So at this layer, repository layer, say I'm at the data access object layer.
Right.
Okay. Over here. So here at this, it's using the repository object, and the delete by ID does not return anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have to, service is not going to return anything. So you just have to do it as a controller. After the deletion is done, you can either return nothing or you can just return whatever you want. So yeah, so I think you're right. Like this part gets done, but something happens here, right?
Correct.
Let's just see what happens. So it's a get mapping, right? Get mapping del ID. No, wait, there is no one. There is a three. Internal server error. Not found. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I keep forgetting, dude. This is why you need practice again and again. Otherwise, you'll screw up. I'll tell you I forgot the reason. You remember I keep telling you, right? Why to do one important thing when you're interacting with client. Am I missing something here?
Oh,
Hmm? Right? So, Yeah, so you can actually do the log.info. So whatever log is comes here, right?
Where
It'll
is it
come
named?
here on the console, and you can see where they
Can I
are.
double tap it? I want to see
Double click.
the console.
Double. Okay. 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 There you.
I want to see where that is.
Where what? The log.
Yeah, log.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you. So let's just do a get all. It's running. So I think we'll just save one more just to be sure, right? Name 141. Okay. Ah, method not allowed. Method has to be post. Right? There we go. Now look, IDs become 4 now. Right? Get all. See? 2, 4. Okay, so now I'm going to do a delete the fourth one. Okay, there you go. See, now it's returning the list of that.
Yes. Okay.
And because I didn't do the response body, so let's look at the console. See, starting delete is done. Teacher controller, it tells you exactly where that this is coming from. It's coming from the teacher controller. See,
Okay.
very useful, right? And if you want to know, like, you can actually go even further than that. You can actually uh where is that? You can actually say things like you want to add, you want to know what is inside that, what is the ID, right? You can actually say plus ID, then it will display the ID also. Got it? So all the information you want, you can actually do it through log, right? And like I showed you earlier, just use this annotation as Lombok. This is actually Lombok, right? Just do that, and then you say log.info, whatever, and you can actually it comes in. So these are the basic operations, right? So this is your job, okay? Your job is now to do this twice, okay? Entire thing, whatever I've done in this video from beginning to end, and you have to do something else. With at each layer, you have to describe everything you know about it. You have to describe what is happening here, describe what is happening here at the control level. You have to describe why you're using this, why you're using this, why are you using this. Got it? At every point, you have to describe, okay? So your job is to do the first time with all this, describe everything, and then show it to me. Okay.